Good afternoon, friends. My name is Preeta Jha. I'm the president of Peace and Equality Cell. Peace and Equality Cell is an NGO working on issues of access to justice. Presently, we work mainly on POCSO legislation, which is to prevent child sexual abuse. We also work on gender-based violence, particularly the domestic violence legislation and the POSH Act, which is about sexual harassment. Our work over the years has sort of shown us the need to work on awareness. India now has very good pieces of legislation. We can say they're world-class legislation as far as domestic violence is concerned, sexual harassment, rape, child sexual abuse, caste atrocities, disability. So we have legislation in all these areas, but major problems are two. One, people are unaware of the provisions of the law, and two, the infrastructure required to implement the law. By infrastructure, I mean legal aid, compensation, counseling, competent legal representation being a major issue for poor and vulnerable populations. So we have, our work really falls in these areas. We work on awareness of the laws and also on prevention, in that we work to remove the social barriers. We work to make people aware of the culture of silence and to break the culture of silence around domestic violence and child sexual abuse. We also work to make people who are responsible for implementing the legislation sensitive about the social and cultural barriers. So idea is to create a sensitive criminal justice system for the survivors of sexual domestic violence, caste-based violence, disability-based violence. And we do this in different ways. So for child sexual abuse, we conduct safe touch, unsafe touch sessions in schools to make children aware about what is a safe touch and what is unsafe touch. We also give them the Childline number, so in case they need to, they can access Childline. We also talk to them about the process of grooming, how children are prepared, how it is not the case that spontaneously strangers carry out child sexual abuse. The case is much more in more than 90% of cases. It is somebody that the child knows, a neighbor, a friend, a family member who is abusing the child. So to make them aware of these issues. As far as domestic violence is concerned, we work with women's groups and counselors who provide women the access to law and support, the emotional support needed for them to leave violent relationships. On sexual harassment, we also raise awareness of legislation and do capacity building sessions for students, teachers, communities on what the provisions of the law are. Where do we work? We work in 4 districts of Gujarat. We work in Ahmedabad, Anand, rural Sabarkantha and urban Sabarkantha, and we work in Mehsana, rural and urban again. Our head office is in Ahmedabad. Over the last 2 years, we have also reached out and collaborated with organizations in Bihar, where we are working on issue of child sexual abuse. We're doing safe touch and safe touch sessions in collaboration with organizations in Bihar. And also we're working on disability with an organization called Samved, and we work with an organization called Samagra Seva on the issue of child sexual abuse in Bihar. The need for this videos really arises from the fact that even physically, whilst we can reach the areas where we work, we felt it was important to try to create online material that anybody could access on YouTube about these laws and these provisions. Aim is to create very small modules on these laws, which will be accessible free online in different languages, English, Hindi, and Gujarati. We hope this will be useful. Thank you very much for listening to me.